All right, so welcome back to the program. Now we take a look at a political party that has gathered lots of supporters in a short while. The party is barely 4 months old, but it's becoming one of the highly placed political parties in Nigeria, and that's the Nigerian Democratic Congress, the NDC. As we speak about the recently conducted NDC primary elections that has actually raised dust across the nation, with some persons feeling and saying that the party would have done better in conducting that election. And one of the persons that we have he's joined us is MAZI ALPHONSUS OKORIE. He is the national president of EBONYI Youth Council. A very good morning to you, MAZI.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about the NDC, a new political party. It has lots of support from the East.
Yeah, well, if we say it has a lot of support from the East, I think it's like microzoning the support of NDC. Mm-hmm. We can confidently say that NDC become the highest opposition party in Nigeria as of today. Mm-hmm. And that is not far-fetched because the party comes with a hope. That's the hope Nigeria is waiting for now. Mm-hmm. And being the alternative to the ruling party, and so you expect Nigerians to embrace it, and that is what we are seeing today. Mm-hmm. That every part of Nigeria have stood up to embrace the new dawn, the new Nigeria that is possible. And that is what we are seeing. So when we look at it, within a couple of 3 to 4 months, every news occurrence in Nigeria is celebrating, is talking about NDC. Mm-hmm. It only tells you something, that is a new normal that have arrived.
Mm-hmm. You've talked about the NDC being the new normal, but there's still a prominent places where the NDC, some persons will say, may not be having as much support.
Yes, because no tree grows in a day. In fact, we have even changed our narrative. We can say that the tree of NDC have grown in a day. Because other parties, take for instance the APC, at least they spent 1 year before the election. They started 2013. So at least they have full 1 year before election. What we are talking about is party of 3 months. So kudos to the leaders because they have actually done a marvelous work. And all thanks also to our leader and the presidential candidate whose personality is out of this world and have shown that something different can happen in Nigeria. So that's what we are building on. And by that, every part of Nigeria, the reality is this. There are so many who are not in NDC who are indirectly supporting NDC because they are okay with the new Nigeria that is possible. So with that, I believe every part of Nigeria is very much in line.
All right, you've talked about the NDC being okay, but some Nigerians are asking, is the NDC a special purpose vehicle set up to just get into contestation? Or does the NDC have the structures to survive away from it? Because we've seen like a presidential candidate, he came into the party, ADC, he left the ADC. He leaves the NDC. What now becomes of the NDC?
No. When we talk about special purpose vehicle, NDC goes beyond that. And that's why some of us who are not just there for those that will win election, who are not just there to win election, is clamoring that things must be done right. Mm-hmm. Because we must transit from the level of special purpose vehicle, which some persons, especially those who lose out from their various political parties, want to use NDC as special purpose vehicle by jumping in and trying to hijack some of the positions through the NDC, which we know some of them did it in 2023, and we see the result of it. Some of them jumped into Labour Party with influence of Peter Obi, and they got the position because they are not committed member of Labour Party. They jump ship, and today we are saying that those who ordinarily should not win a local government election because of the influence of the party, the personality of Peter Obi, they got into the party, they got elected, and in the jump ship, they are now in another party, saying on your mandate. forgetting that on someone's influence they get there. And that is why some of us who are a card-carrying member of NDC, some of us who understand what it means to build ideological party, is clamoring that we must get it right. Because if NDC failed to get it right, then there is problem in Nigeria. The hope we are hoping will be in vain, and there's no one else that will give us that hope.
Yeah, I'm talking about the hope. There's a lot of complaints already. People like Aisha Yusufu and the rest. I was at your secretariat yesterday, and I saw protests. Various people. I saw people from EBONYI. I saw people from Anambra protesting the conduct of the primary elections of the NDC. So let's talk about this. For a party that says they will rescue Nigeria, and we're having this level of complaints from party members, does it speak well of that particular political party?
Well, when you come to protests and we come to complaints, in every family, no matter how perfect such family is, certainly there will be complaints. And why is there complaint? Is because there are certain things that is not done to the satisfaction of many of the party members, and they need to complain. But the difference that we have a set of leaders. The national leader of NDC and the presidential candidate is a different creature of this world. In fact, I don't know if we have up to 3 in Nigeria, because if we do, I think we have done better. Now, while we are clamoring and making this protest, because we believe we have leaders that reach things. So it's not, there is a saying that it's better to train a child than to repair an adult. We don't wait until things get bad completely before we complain. We complain now so that the leaders will also fine-tune some areas and give it to them, kudos to them. Within 3 months, they're able to put up this process, this system, the way it is. But that does not mean that in the building, you will not see 1 or 2 areas that have issues. And that is why some of us is raising this alarm. That, look, if we must go to equity, we must go with clean hand. There are some areas we are not getting it right. From the feelers we are getting, yes, the final list is not out, but the rumors, some of us have our intels, we have our source of information, and we see the way some of the things is going. And that's why we have to speak out to let the leaders know, in case some sacrifice around them is trying to tell them that all is well, that if we are the hope of Nigeria, then something different must happen. And that is why we are raising this alarm. Because if you check, not only Anambra, not only just yesterday, I got a call. By the way, I have a support group with NDC, not particularly anybody. I'm supporting NDC because this is the party I hope and I believe will transform Nigeria. So I got information from virtually every part of Nigeria. And you know what? The complaint that keep on coming, that those who have been some of the members is being shortchanged. Some persons just defect. And we know some of these people that defect. Good and fine, our door is open. But we must scrutinize them. We must look at them. We must not allow those who have been with the party to suffer it. And most of these people that defect will end up jump out. So that is what we are trying to say. We are not saying shut the door against anyone. No. But let the proper thing be done. Let the faithful of NDC choose their leader. And that is the only way we are going to show the world, show the nation, that we are not just there as a special purpose vehicle, but we are here as a party with ideology, with a system that we intend to transform Nigeria and make Nigeria okay.
Were you part of the protest or the primaries that the NDC held some fortnight ago? Were you at the primary ground?
Yes.
What was the assessment?
Yes, the issue is beyond just being, because if my analysis will be based on where I am, I think it will be myopic to give analysis of the whole nation of over 8,000 polling units with just a single place. But we analyze based on the feelers we get in the field, because we also have our intels, our men in different areas looking at it. So some of the problem is not mostly with the the kind of, because we don't have much of the counting we see in APC from 10 to 100 to 1,000 to 8,000. But the problem is, some of the members that come in and try to use some structures, some state structures to hijack that process. And that is what we are talking about. Take for instance, and just as analyzed in other fora, we must go beyond looking for people that come and answer the name candidates of NDC. We must look at their winnability. And I give you one example. Like, if you come to Ebonyi State, the figure we are getting talks about 3 positions in just one local government. Now we begin to ask, in Ebonyi State, there are about 3 local governments we know that they have higher number of voting population. We talk about EBONYI, we talk about Ikwo, we talk about Sohuku, and general government and all that. But if we come to the central, I'm not from the central, but I'm concerned about my party. If you come to the figure we are getting is that both the governorship, the Senate, and House of Assembly is coming from the same local government. Why we are raising this is to let our party know that politics, we all know, is interest and give and take. We must distribute this position the way we have what we are using to negotiate with the other local government. Don't forget, Ikwo, we are talking about, APC have already given them the House of Representatives and all that. So now, if we don't have what we are going to use to hold that population there, certainly sympathy vote will come and then the NDC will lose. So that is why some of us are saying, let's look at, and we are not just fighting for this because we want to make people feel or we have special interest. In fact, the person contesting for the senatorial position in NDC from the Ikwo, from the central, there, I have never met him for once. I have never. I think the only time I've seen him is once on television. I've never. But why are we discussing it? Why are we thinking that things should be done right? It's because we don't want NDC to become a special post vehicle. We want it to have those that can win the election. Let's distribute this position. It's not only central. I'm just using Ebonyi State for example. In the south, the figure we are getting, the information we are getting is that both the House of Rep and the Senate is coming from the same community, not even the same local government. In fact, the same polling unit here is not taking. So this is what we are saying. What are we going to use to negotiate with others?
But if the people bought forms and also contested from those local governments and they were able to win their elections squarely, is it
now the issue is that there are some things that we want that is why in the wisdom of the party they have refused to release the list. I'm sure the leader, and that is why this is the time for us to appeal to them to bring to their notice what plays out. Because politics is local. Some of us in the field knows how things goes. So it's not something we remember this still my house. So I cannot come and be fighting my house. But at the same time, we want the right thing to be, and this is the only time we can get it done. We are not saying give someone who do not win. Like the report I got from Abia State, one of the person called me and said, you have evidence that one of the senatorial candidates almost got over 80% of local governments within there. And it's still under the fillers they are getting, according to the information given to me. It's not because when they see that someone is actually bringing to the notice of the leaders, look at the issue we have, let's treat it. Different persons start getting in touch with me and explaining that. So we find out that in that case, there are some issues that I use this medium to appeal to our leaders. Our presidential candidate must get involved. He must look at it so that because he has the goodwill of the people, good. But there are those that will drive this from the grassroots. And that is what some of us are saying. It's not good enough for you to say, it must be okay, you have the goodwill. Politics is local. Somebody might come, even without even sharing that money, confuse you based on who you have, because politics is all about who will I meet after the election? Who is the next person? So, and that is what some of us is saying, please, let's get it right, because we are the last hope of Nigeria.
It's some Nigerians will feel, can we really have a political system in Nigeria that can go each free? Because so a lot of persons feel that when it comes to the NDC, there's some level of, difference. But with what we are seeing, there's complaints, there's some persons are saying the elections were even held, some are calling for a rerun. And when you just look at the whole political system in Nigeria, it raises questions.
Yes, do you know why? Because those who jump in and join NDC do not fall from the moon. If you pick a goat and wear him a suit, if he comes here, he'll be like a goat, because that is his nature. So there are those who already have the mindset of look at how it must be done. This is how we have been doing it. So it's just like in most of the interviews of our leader, we hear him say he was impeached simply because he wanted it to be done differently. Those who want the status quo to remain will always insist on doing it their way. And as a political party built in Nigeria that is open for Nigerians, people come in there with different characters, and that is where the leadership comes in. Law is not because people will not misbehave, but law is there to checkmate those misbehavior. So that is where the leadership comes in, and that is why we are calling the national leader of our party, our presidential candidate. They must put head together. Our vice president, a very experienced politician, they should put hand together. I see how he handled Kano State, and everybody was happy. I was happy. The feelers I'm getting from Kano State shows me that NDC is at home. So with that, I call on them to intervene and make sure that the hope that Nigeria is yearning for is actually actualized to NDC.
And some persons have even said, why would the party finish a primary, and for many days the results are known, but it's not been announced and it's being kept? What do you think is the reason for that?
Yes, because as a father, you need to be a father to all. You must be a father to all. And when, as a father, you finish building and they complain, what do? You sit back. Not only to announce. The difference between NDC and other political parties is that other political parties bully you to silence. You cannot even complain as a APC that the injustice was done to you, as we all see, from 10 to 1 million. You cannot even complain because the party will bully you to silence. But this is a party that comes in and give you open hand to express yourself. So when there are such expression, the party leadership has decided to take their time to get things right for two reasons. One, in any of those complaints, there are this saying that in every accusation, there are elements of truth. As a father, you don't rush into conclusion and say, okay, this is the final. You sit back. And I believe that is what the leaders is sitting back. And that is why some of us who have interest of NDC have now to let them know, in case those around them is not let them know, see the reality, that there are areas we need to work on. First, we need to also meet with both the aggrieved and the supposed winner, so that because NDC is promised not to be a winner take it all. Let's see how we work together, because if NDC fail, I keep repeating it, Nigeria, the hope is the...
There are many political parties in Nigeria, so we cannot, as a country, put all of our hope in one political party. Some person will say we've not really experienced the NDC in leadership, so we cannot talk about how the NDC will lead Nigeria going forward. But I would like to still ask a few questions for some minutes, but I will go for a short break, and when we'll come back, let's go for a short break. When we'll come back, we'll still look at the 2027 elections as crisis hits the NDC over alleged primary election manipulation. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.
Wake up with Global Morning, your daily guide to what's happening and making the rounds.
We delve into headlines, newspaper reviews, spot-on analysis, policies, current events, real talk, real issues that affect us all.
From the latest trends to the debates, every topic, every angle, Global Morning is where it all starts.
Global Morning,
For the latest issues,
always on point.
watch Global Morning Monday to Friday at 7 a.m., Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. on Global Television.
Alright, so welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is Global Morning, weekend edition and a Sunday edition. Tonight, this morning on the program, we're discussing with MAZI ALPHONSUS OKORIE. He's the National President of EBONYI Youth Council. And we're looking at 2027 elections as we look at the Nigerian Democratic Congress. And I'm looking forward for your party. Your party seems to have a likeness because of the influence of Peter Obi. Let's talk about Peter Obi as we look towards 2027. Do you think he stands a better chance this time, or do you think he has steeper obstacles? They are familiar foes now. The same President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I contested against in 2023 is the same president. The same Alhaji Atiku Abubakar that came second with 6.9 votes is still there. So the only change is that the person that came fourth, Kwankwaso, with 1.2 million votes, is now the vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, thank you. I think comparatively, I would say Peter Obi has far better chance now than ever. You know why? When he comes on in 2023, in some quarters, they are calling him prophets. Because what he told Nigeria, that if you fail to do this, this will happen. You are going to suffer, you are going to complain. I think it was like a preamble of what is happening today. So, before 2023, most of them predicated their grievances. They said he's playing ethnical game. He said bring all sorts of things, religious and all that. But right now, Nigeria is united in one thing. We are united in hunger. And that hunger will point to us where we should go. That's 8 point something votes for APC. Out of them, many of them are hungry with me. Many of them, their children are in captivity today. So, all things being equal, P2B now don't even need to campaign again. Because the experience have taught many Nigerians that this is a place to go. So, when you look at it, and one of the things that affected his electioneering movement in 2023 was the North factor. And that Northern factor had been set aside because the North have now seen that this man they told you that he's evil is not evil. In fact, it's the hope that is coming. And in 2023, our experienced vice president was in the other side. But right now, he has read the chunk number of the North to realize that this man is not what you think.
A chunk number of the North, or people are in Kano. You had former Vice President Alejandro Baka say Kwankwaso is popular in Kano.
You know, if you say Kwankwaso is popular in Kano, it's the same language they said in 2022. They said the obedient group are just 4 people tweeting in one room. And today, that 4 people is most feared political organization in Africa. Because if you look at it, whenever you invite 20 APC members to come for a discussion, 20 of them will center on one person, Peter Obi. If you bring NDC, all of them will center on Peter Obi. But if you invite Peter Obi or you see any of the fora, Obi will be busy discussing about Nigeria and the future of Nigeria. That shows you that those analysis is not always what he thinks. Many will tell you he's only in Kano. Let's wait till election day. We know if he's only in Kano. But I know, because it's not only that we are not jumping into ADC. This is NDC. This is just what we have already sat down and planned. That the North have come to realize that Obi, that they were told, is that kind of wicked anti-North and all that. Imagine cooking up a story that Obi profiled the North, whereas that was not even in Anambra State. It was the only person that tried doing that was in Imo State, Governor Rochas Okorocha then. Not even in administration of Obi finished his tenure in 2014. And that occurred during Rochas in 2015, after Obi had even finished as governor. So you find out that those are cooked stories they are trying to use to...
One of the things that we've also heard is when people say that one of the factors that worked for Peter Obi then was the Muslim ticket factor, that some people were concerned that, Nigeria should be multi-religious. But now, people are at home with the Muslim tickets. It's not a concern.
In fact, the issue of Muslim ticket will work against APC now more than before. Do you know why? In 2023, many of, especially the Muslim sector, see it as it's not a battle between Christian and Muslim. And in order to prove the point, they don't look at the capability of the person coming. They are looking about, let's defend our faith. But today they have seen that faith, that Muslim ticket, do not put food on their table. It does not reduce the cost of things in the market. It does not make them buy fuel any cheaper. It does not stop terrorist attack in Nigeria. So what are they going to sell again? It's not issue of telling them, come and support Muslim ticket because this. They are fighting not because we are Muslim. No, those arguments have already fallen. So Peter Obi now have a clear chance because both the Muslims now understand that it's not about who is there. It's not about who can deliver.
So, but does Peter Obi has, because sometimes, it's easier to postulate when you're outside, but when you get in, you see the real work. Do you really believe that the challenges in Nigeria seems they are very serious challenges? And from what I heard at the NDC convention, Peter Obi said he wants to do one term, and after that, the NDC has already zoned 2031 to the north. Can you make any meaningful progress in Nigeria in one term?
Yes, you can. Do you know the truth? Is that you don't need 20 years to make a difference. A difference starts from the first day. If to bring Nigeria to eat meal can start from one statement, one unplanned statement, if I will use that, that means to turn Nigeria around can. And I give you the example of Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. We see what he did. Some people keep on making this analysis. You cannot do things in 4 years. 4 years is too much for a man that wants to do something. Now let's look at the background of Peter Obi. he became governor of Anambra State in 2004, 2003. At the time, I want you to fact check it. In Anambra State, the issue of security is the worst. In fact, I'm from East. I would prefer, no matter how rugged Lagos is, I would prefer to be stranded in Lagos than in Anambra State, where I think, at least before I count 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10 people, I will see someone from my state. But it was no-go area. How long does it take Peter Obi to get it right? Check the interview of Major General Nietzsche. He will give you a clue of what can this person do. So it's not an issue of farming time. And look at Nigeria politics. The second tenure, first tenure, the real governance is like 2 years. The other from the third year, preparation for the next election. They enter the second tenure. The real governance is like 2 years. The other 2 years, they used to prepare for who will take over from them and to plan their retirement package. So in actual sense, what each of them has always used is just 4 years for Nigeria. Whether good or bad, that's what they use. So anyone, if Peter Obi is coming in, he's coming in to use the 4 years because he knows, and this is explained why Goodluck Jonathan proposed, during his regime, there was a proposal for a single term because they see that the second year is just a waste of money and opportunities. So Peter Obi, have told you, I'm going to do 4 years, and after that, judge me based on what I do. And I bet you, Nigeria will be the new Singapore of Africa.
That are still in the realms of speculation because we do not have, because even some persons have complained about how he worked in Anambra and all of that. But I want to stay on the party now. Some persons have said that the NDC seemed to be operating like a private entity. We've seen Turaki Dixon, the national leader of the party, have meetings in his home, party meetings, and some persons have said it should not be so. This is not, yes, you are the leader of the party, but the party now transcends you, it's bigger than you. The party belongs to all of us and should not be brought into the control of one man.
I think those saying that is a statement from the opposition, because those of us who knows them knows as Dixon do not by any means monopolize NDC. In fact, the way it is now, Peter Obi cannot even, with sentence, authoritatively said he's controlling NDC. NDC is a party that have life of its own.
Who are those controlling NDC?
NDC have a structure of leadership that controls NDC. As a leader, you give your advice, and that is where a fatherly role comes in. No father build a house and abandon it, then you are not a father. A father is always there to guide his son. When you hand over your business to your children, you don't just abandon them. You are there to also guide until everything is formalized. So anyone saying that yes, he's a senator of the Federal Republic, he's a leader of a party, he can have meetings anywhere, in his house, in the office, anywhere. So it's not, that does not make it monopoly. Maybe he's still monopolizing the party. No. He can have a meeting with all aim of getting things right. And that is what is a leader. A leader is not one who sits at home and drinks tea. A leader is the one who leads from front. And that is what Dixon is providing. And that is why if you want, there's no NDC, both aspirants and members, that has anything against Dixon, because it has provided a leadership. That is why we are confident to call on him now. That there are steps also, further steps to take to make sure that as a father, that the house you have started will also get matured and do well.
All right. So if because there's always the what if question. What if you've said you've called the chairman, you've called the national leader, you've given your advice. What if they do not take the advice that you've given? What next?
We believe they will, because they have interest of the party. There are people that are there to do something different, and from their antecedents, they have already shown that they are listening leaders. And that is the confidence we have to let them know that there are issues, some of us, informations we are getting that need to be attended to. And we have every confidence that they will do the needful. And NDC will come out, not stronger, because it's not weak, but come out as the number one, as the only alternative to the current APC.
All right, so we've seen, still talking about parties, as we try to wind down now. We have the Labour Party, we have the NDC, we have the ADC, all of them, the PDP in the realm of opposition. And some persons have suggested that if the opposition must pose any reasonable challenge, the opposition must come together as one unit to be able to present a single presidential candidate. What's your take on that?
That would have been the best. But human factor comes in there, where some set of persons want their individual ambition, even when it is clear that Nigeria of today is not disposable to get you as a leader. So, in a situation whereby so many persons feels that is their entitlement or their birthright to govern Nigeria, the worst thing that will happen to Nigeria is that the best candidate is allowed to be trampled down. And that is why at this point, NDC is one party that is so accommodating that even until now it still extends hands of fellowship to all the opposition parties. Let's come together and build, because we know as of today, with our sense of responsibility, I would say we only have two presidential candidates. Which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Peter Obi.
What about Atiku Abubakar?
We'll talk about him next time. But for now, I can only guarantee.
But the ADC has published his name as the presidential candidate of the party.
Yes, the APC will still have other hurdles to cross, because of now, ADC itself is not even sure that it's going to be participating in the forthcoming election.
We have many presidential candidates. Showore is a presidential candidate of the AAC.
Yes, we have presidential candidates in numbers.
Donald Duke, presidential candidate of the PRP.
In fact,
Goodluck Jonathan.
In fact, only PDP have to. We know. With nominal roles, we may have them up to 20, but we know who are serious contenders.
So Atiku is a very serious contender.
Till we get to the poll, we know that. Let's
because some persons have even said he has inherited the votes of the North from late Muhammad Buhari.
It is easy for us to say that in the studio. The paid agent and some of our hungry analysts, sorry if I use that word, we always do that in order to get what they want.
No, they are looking at numbers and data.
Data, some of them are past. In research, you don't predicate on there are variables that you use in arriving at your conclusion. Who does the variable are not there?
Well, one of the variables could be the last election.
Last election and this election is far much different, because the goodwill, those followers they got as a result of the same campaign of not being with Peter Obi has been conquered.
Even some of the persons with Peter Obi used to be with him have left him, like Dati Baba Ahmed.
Certainly. Some jobbers will always come when the food is not there, they will go out. So it's still not new in politics, because so many persons are just there, and if some of us in the local affairs call it Webele face. But at the same time, I'm a bit worrisome about our former vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, Dr. Ahmed. The reason is he's someone that most of us respects. But at the same time, it's possible for you to disagree. You can disagree with your former boss, but your level of criticism have made nonsense what you claim to uphold in the past. Because if you know all what you are saying now, why do you support him? And you are saying you support him out of sympathy. Maybe now that is understated. That is a very worrisome statement. So out of sympathy, you can throw the whole Nigeria into the hands of a failure. Then why should I trust you now? If you can, out of sympathy, you support someone you know do not have capability of giving Nigeria leadership, and now you are coming to tell me the same person do not. That means ab initio, all you are saying do not make sense.
Thank you so much, MAZI ALPHONSUS OKORIE, National President of EBONYI Youth Council. We wish you and your party, the NDC, all of the best as you continue your search for the presidency of Nigeria. It will be a tough battle, and we wish every other party involved in that race all of the best.
Thank you so much, and believe in me, by 2027, I'll be here to receive your congratulations message.
We'll get to see how that works out. All right, people, let's go for a short break, and when we go back, the show continues. Stay with us.